is Dale's Addiction. It is a miserable Sunday morning here in Brisbane. It's humid and drizzly rainy, and I thought it would be a perfect day to check the questions that you've popped on my Instagram stories. You can follow me here on Instagram and on my YouTube community post, and just get to answering them. So that's what I intend to do today. So let's get into it. The first question that comes from Overjoyed. What kind of jealousy have you received since you got your Birkin? Well, in case you hadn't heard, this once former non-Birkin girly has kind of become this Birkin girly. I will link the video of story time around how I got my Birkin in Paris and, my first impressions of it. There's a few people that were a little dirty in the video comments about the fact that I got a Birkin and suggested that, it was really Hermes' strategy to convert a non-Birkin lover to Birkins and therefore sell more Birkins, and the demand for Birkins all throughout the YouTubes. I think that's, a super amazing compliment, thinking that I would have that much influence and that Hermes would consider me an influencer of their brand. So I don't think that's the case. Some of the other comments that kind of lent themselves to jealousy were about that I should have given my Birkin to Meredith because it was her appointment, and that I only bought the Birkin because, I've sold out to the luxury dream. And look, I bought the Birkin because I was offered one without a purchase history in Paris. Like, if you're going to get a Birkin, and this Birkin is a Dale Birkin, you're crazy not to. And Amex said yes, so I said yes. Do I get jealousy about the Birkin now on Instagram when I post or when I talk about it on YouTube? No, I don't. Not that I consider to be jealousy. I think some people are a little more sensitive to comments than what I potentially am, which is good and bad in that I might be missing some of the more passive-aggressive tones in comments, but they get pointed out to me by a few good friends I've got here just saying, oh, that was a little bit, nasty. But generally speaking, I don't feel like I'm getting jealous comments about the Birkin. So, long answer to a very simple question. The next question comes from Kathy E. Davis. Mohair baguette, pros and cons. Would you buy again? So, here she is, the beautiful Fendi mohair baguette. Quick pros and cons. Pros, look at it. It is the most unique, beautiful, cloud-like specimen of a bag. There's no other winter bag for me, as far as I'm concerned, than this, because it is so voluptuous and fluffy and just, next level extra. Other pro, I think it's very unique in terms of its design. In terms of cons, the same things that are pros. So, even though I think this is a beautiful winter bag, the reality is in winter, weather is kind of unpredictable and you don't want raindrops getting on this. I have often wanted to take this one out for like lunch dates and what have you, and the reality is I'm paranoid because it just seems to me that wait staff, if I put my bag on a chair, on an empty chair next to me, they will serve the food and drinks over that chair. Does anyone else find that? And so then I will tuck it onto one of my handbag hooks. Quick plug. A few people have been posting their bags hanging on handbag hooks recently and tagging me in their Instagram stories, and you guys have been asking me about them, so here they are. And I have a few left in stock. They're available on my eBay store, which is linked in the description box down below. But I'll typically use a handbag hook and just hook it under the table close to me, not right in front of me in case I spill something. So I think the biggest con is what weather and where do you take it? And I think it's probably more a day out shopping bag. It's not a mealtime bag. And it's a handheld bag. It is not a bag that I would wear crossbody with a different chain, because you would mattify all of this beautiful mohair and potentially get colour transfer. So I am probably well known for buying bags that aren't so practical, aren't everyday bags. I would definitely recommend something like this. It just, you know, myself and Lisa from Luxury and Life in the Middle both have this bag and it makes both of us smile, and smiles are priceless. The next question. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have started reading out usernames because I am stuck for this one. If you could charge $100,000 for a service only you can provide, what would it be? $100,000. I'd charge $100,000 to people who wanted to collab with me on a DaylesAddiction YouTube integrated video. And that's why I don't have sponsorships. I did ask for these questions to be a little spicy, and just a word of warning, there will be some spicy ones, and it's not because the people were being rude, it's because I asked for spicy. G_on a mission. Hey Georgie, she asks, is another Hermes bag on the cards? I think that I've answered this somewhere along the lines before, where I have said only under the same conditions as I got my first one, which is that I don't have to play the silly games, that I am offered one for the recommended retail price in a colour and hardware combination that I love, you know, potentially in Paris. But if you said to me, are there any bags that I look for that are on my list? No. My attitude toward Hermes and its pieces generally and the games hasn't changed. 47 WMC 47. If you could only pick one designer for the rest of your bag life purchasing, who would it be? Across the board, one designer? Look, it would be between Fendi and Louis Vuitton. Fendi covers the whole range of bag needs, from the super interesting, I think Fendi has the best made to order process if you get to do it and do it properly. There's very little restriction on what you can do, whereas other houses like Louis Vuitton and Hermes still have quite a few restrictions around what you're allowed to do. Luggage, I mean, Louis Vuitton's known for luggage, but Fendi also does luggage. Yeah, I think I have more fun with Fendi, to be honest. So Fendi it is. Lexi, hi Lexi. She says she heard that Fendi will launch perfumes. I hope soon. Are you interested in trying these out? For sure. Like if they come into boutique, I will definitely go and have a little sniffy sniff. But for me, I'm not a big fragrance aficionado. Like if I come across a fragrance by coincidence or in my travels and it takes me, then yes, absolutely, I'm interested to know more and I'll potentially purchase it. But typically I don't go out hunting for new fragrance. I don't collect fragrance. And a word up, if anyone wants to buy me fragrance, please don't. I think fragrance is a really personal thing, and unless you've got like a signature scent that is obviously yours, that's a safe option to be able to purchase somebody for a gift. But if you think someone would like a fragrance and send it to them, don't be surprised if they don't, because as we know, all of our chemistry is different and it's a really risky and expensive proposition to purchase a fragrance gift that you can't guarantee a person will love as much as you do. Eileen, hi Eileen, she asks, never has Dale ever considered getting a tattoo. So I always used to think about, and when I say considered getting one, I've thought about it, but I've never like been really serious about, you know, getting close to designing something or putting it on me. It took me 32 years to get my second ear piercings done. And that is because, like a few things, my view is I think I need to care a fair bit about what that tattoo is before I put it on me. And I don't want my star sign on me. I don't want some foreign language that nobody else understands on me. I don't need a mantra on me. I don't need a picture on me. I wish that I cared enough about something. I feel like it's a real it's a funny one for me because I love being creative and I love being playful, and I'm not a regretful person, but the tattoo thing, I just can't find any good reason to do it. So never have I ever, and never will I probably ever. Lauren, team with the theme, says, can we go emerald shopping together? Oh, look, there will be quite a few of us going emerald shopping together, Lauren, and absolutely you're welcome to join. Eileen, who asked the earlier question, her and I will often swap notes on the auction houses and their beautiful emeralds that come up in some of the lots at estate sales. Yeah, I am still considering how I bring an emerald piece into my jewellery collection that I can wear enough and enjoy enough that I feel like I'm getting real value from that investment without putting it at risk of damaging or scratching it. So yeah, I know there's a few of you out there who have beautiful emerald pieces, including engagement rings, and I am very jealous. That is why I bought these gorgeous little Chanel fashion earrings when I was in Paris, because they have these green stones, and I was like, let me just pretend that I have emerald drop earrings for a moment, and maybe that will, you know, help me push the button potentially on an emerald set. Maybe for my 50th birthday I might invest in emeralds. We'll see. cat_HK_ORR. Bag you once hated but now own. I wonder what that might be. Instead of saying the obvious one, I'm going to say this one. This is the Louis Vuitton Neverfull GM. Did I hate it? Amelia Rose, who is known to all of us, she just kept banging on about how great hers was. And I did a work trip once. I have a Neverfull World Tour. I did a work trip and I managed to fit my laptop, my notebook, a clean change of clothes and the basics of like toiletries and cosmetics into my and I thought, if only this was a bit bigger, this would be a more comfortable overnight trip bag. And that's what made me consider the GM. And as soon as I found one on a Facebook Marketplace page for like $1,000, cheap as chips, an old vintage one, all worn in, I have not used my at all. The GM is very much my preference, and I do love to use it for travel. It's just the best travel bag. And, you know, you can turn it into an overnight bag that's a fairly easy, you know, piece to carry around, especially when it's all worn in. When they're new, the straps tend to be really uncomfortable and horrible to use. So yeah, I recommend if you're going to get one of those, get one pre-loved. Eileen asks, what is the last thing that made you want to vomit? Well, that came out of Lulu, my new puppy. And let's just say it smelt so bad that it hit the back of my throat. I could taste the smell, and yeah, it was horrible. And first thing in the morning when you when that's what you wake up to, and then you've got to clean it. Yep, puppies. This one I'm going to keep anonymous. But it made me laugh and I don't have an answer. If Donkey Kong is a monkey, not a donkey, why was he given that name? I think my guess is as good as yours on that one. Lux Press Love, hi Melinda. She has a great YouTube channel, I'll link in the description box. Does your hubby like Lux or collect anything, any pricey hobbies? No, he does not like Lux. He likes it for me, but personally he doesn't like it. He has a Louis Vuitton pocket organizer. He has one that I bought him for his first wedding anniversary gift from me, and then I bought him another one for our 10th wedding anniversary because he'd stretched his original one so much by overfilling it. That's it, that's all he has. Even in the sunglasses department, I think he prefers Ray-Bans. I don't know if they classify as luxury, probably not, but he doesn't buy luxury sunglasses either. Does he have any pricey hobbies? Oh yes, he does. He is into all types of motors. Over our years together, motorbikes have been a constant, both road bikes and dirt bikes, you know, from say Ducati to Harley Davidson to cafe races to bikes that do big jumps on dirt piles, and he's on the bikes when they do the big jumps because he's making it do the jump thing. So typically when I'm filming YouTubes on the weekend, he's out riding. He also likes vehicles, you know, really old, what we'd call muscle cars here in Australia from the 70s, and you know, he also likes more modern cars as well. I think your husband and my husband have a love of the Porsche in common, so yeah, he does like some expensive things, Melinda, yes. Hinson 87, what is your dream vacation? Hello. My dream vacation. Oh, I think I've done it. And I would love to do it again and again. Literally just, I think maybe, you know, twice as much time. So say a 6-week European late summer holiday, warm weather, beaches, Aperol spritzers, food, beautiful countryside, drinks, happy people living their best lives, great shopping. Yeah, I think I did that last year. I will link my travel playlist for you. Lexi is back. She says, if to keep your Birkin you need to let go of one Fendi bag, a baguette or a peekaboo, what would your choice be? So if the only way to keep my Birkin was to get rid of one Fendi bag, what would my choice be? I think that's easy. I think a few of my OG subscribers will be very upset that this is the bag that I would pick. It is my Fendi Mini Peekaboo in the Romano leather with the Celleria style stitching. I just haven't been drawn to this bag for quite some time. It doesn't mean I don't think it's absolutely beautiful, but if it meant that I could keep my lovely Birkin, I would definitely get rid of this. In fact, I'm constantly talking with Connor about selling this piece, and it just doesn't bring me the same joy as it used to, because now I have different peekaboos. I love the peekaboo. It's got nothing to do with the peekaboo, but this one is the one that I would pick up the least, just because of how beautiful and pure and white it is, and that's just not me. Margaret Brett, hi Margaret, she's always in my comments on Instagram and YouTube, and I so appreciate your beautiful, lovely, thoughtful comments, Margaret. Any plans to visit Ireland in the future? Take Connor and your lovely green Birkin. Well, Connor is Irish, so yeah, like we should totally do a Dale and Connor tour Ireland. He would love it. He loves the cold weather. We could definitely stop by and visit yourself. There's a few other friends we have in Ireland. No plans, no hard plans. I think last year originally the trip that I was thinking about doing was a driving holiday around the UK, incorporating, you know, all of the different countries. But then we talked about it and thought that's something we can do when we're older and probably a little less mobile, as opposed to Italy with lots of hills and stairs and very active kind of holiday. So one day in the future, and you know, we'll definitely invite Connor to come too. Delphine_red, best piece of advice you ever received? I think that nobody cares about it as much as you do. And that was in the context of how you use your time, because as we know, time is very finite and people call time the ultimate luxury. I think time is something that we all have. It's how we use it. Whereas luxury brands that we talk about here on YouTube, well, not everybody has those or has access to those. with regard to their circumstances, or wants to, but time we all share. And I think the advice that I got was really around, if you are going to be thinking about your time as a way that can serve you and what you want to achieve in your life, then you have to acknowledge that nobody cares as much about the particular topic as you do. And so only you can prioritize your time to serve those needs. Others can't, and most probably won't, because the answer is the same for them too. So yeah, it's always something that helps to guide me particularly when I have to say no to things. And it's very hard to be on the receiving end of a no, I understand, but it's very hard to make a decision that results in no as well for the most part. So I think that's just it's just a necessary part of life if you want fulfillment, to recognize that fact and make decisions accordingly. Delphine also asks, hi Dale, given your experience luxury-wise, is there anything you would do differently? Oh, look, like everybody, in the early days, I bought the hyped pieces. I bought Chanel classics. I bought Pochette Matisse. I bought things that everybody said that you needed to own. And I bought a lot of the small leather goods as well. Yeah, and I didn't like them. I bought the classics. I bought a Lady Dior in black with gold hardware. Like, obviously not me. Look at my collection today. So the only saving grace about those things is that because they were classics and because I held on to them for a fair period of time, price increases occurred and allowed me to sell those pieces without a loss. Even my black Fendi peekaboo, like this one, I sold it for exactly the same as I bought it for, because I sold it a couple of years later and there'd been significant price increases. And so even though it was a bargain for the person who bought it compared to today's prices, for example, I still didn't come out of it with any loss. So, you know, that's the kind of saving grace. But now I buy what I know makes me happy, and therefore I'm not thinking about recovering any losses because I've already spent the money. The money's gone. So it's now about enjoying the decisions that I've made and why I made them. This is a great question. T for 2. And how are you doing? Her and I chat quite a bit. Is the Birkin really special other than the price, or is it just another well-made bag? I think my answer won't shock you on this one. It's just another well-made bag. I think it's on Connor's channel. We did a bit of a catch-up post-holidays, and you know, I got to see his made-to-order close-up in person, and he got to see the Birkin. And he's seen Birkins before because he has a consignment business called Conrad's Closet. If you haven't heard of it, check him out on Instagram. And we both came to the conclusion when we looked at his made-to-order Fendi peekaboo and we looked at the Birkin that we couldn't see any material difference in quality. I think, you know, there's no denying that the Birkin is made beautifully, but it's not a very wearable bag. Like when I wear mine, I wear it in the crook of my arm or I wear it handheld, and people are always bumping into it. And I don't know if I'm super conscious of it, but I feel like people are always bumping into it, and I've got to maneuver my body around people so that that doesn't happen. I am cursed that every time I wear this bag, the Birkin gods have cursed me, that it rains or it threatens to rain every single time. It's insane. But I don't think, when I compare it to like bags and like prices, that it is anywhere, you know, in a world of its own. If I look at how beautifully the Petite Mal is made, the my Capucine BB in the wicker. Yes, it's wicker, but it's a difficult material to work with and get it finished to the luxury standard. The Capucine BB, my peekaboos. I I'm not seeing a fundamental difference. If I compared the Birkin to a baguette, yes, of course, it's of a higher standard. If I compared the Birkin to like a Louis Vuitton canvas piece, yes, the materials are of a higher standard. Is the workmanship? Well, yeah, I guess because they're not factory made. But yeah, I don't see what all the fuss is about, and maybe that's just because I'm not a details kind of gal. Amour d'Orange, one bag you think your favourite YouTubers should bin. Oh no. Wow. That is spicy. Okay, so if I just pick a couple, I'll just pick Meredith and Connor because, you know, my peas, I feel like we have enough dirt on each other that this will be taken in the flavour it's meant to be. A bag that I think Connor should bin is his Gucci crossbody monogram bag. I think it's probably the only bag that really doesn't fit in his bag collection aesthetic. Yeah, I think he could find a different alternative, but I know it's just so easy wearing for him and it goes with everything that he has, and so if I had to pick something it would be that one. For Meredith, I don't even know where to start. I'm just going to say what I've said from the very beginning. Meredith has these bags that I really dislike from Louis Vuitton, and they have this black, pink and white shearling. Like there's a Noé, I think there's like a Neverfull. Oh, they're just not very nice. She knows that I don't like them. Yep, I'll leave it at that. Sophie_Holthoff, if you could choose an Hermes bag, what bag would you choose and in which colour? I feel like I've got my ideal Hermes bag, Sophie. When I was asked what I was interested in Paris, I asked for a mini Kelly in a pretty girly feminine colour. If I was to be more specific about that now, I'd probably say maybe like a fuchsia ostrich might be cool. Yeah, I think like a fuchsia ostrich bag would be cute in a mini Kelly. There you go. Little Luxuries _435. Are you eating your words on the Birkin? You seem to wear it a lot and it looks great. And a lot of these questions are based on the Birkin because the photo I put up for the post had me and my Birkin in it, I'm sure. And she says, you did ask us to be cheeky. Am I eating my words on the Birkin? Yes and no. I think I would be eating my words more if I decided to play the game and buy into all of the journey hype and buy a lot of things that I'm not particularly interested in. And it's funny, every consignment store here in Brisbane, Connor and I went to LuxLink the other day, and there's just this whole section of Hermes things, and you can tell they're all the things that people have bought to build up their spend profile.
And this is where people sell all the things that they bought to get their Hermes offers.
Like cups and plates and charms and jewelleries and you know, homewares. Like it's yeah, it's pretty obvious. So no, I'm not eating my words on the journey part of it. And yeah, the fact that I bought one, however, yes, I'm absolutely eating my words, because when you're put in that situation that I was, which I think is, you know, not something that happens a lot, it would have been in that situation, I think, stupid to say no. Lana May 25 asks, what are your thoughts on Delvaux? It's not for me, If I thought Hermes was pretty understated, then Delvaux is next level for me. Yeah, in Paris I saw some pieces, like I can see the workmanship, I can see the beautiful leather, but there's nothing about, I don't buy my bags because of workmanship and beautiful leather. I buy them because I have an emotional reaction. They excite me, they make me smile, they spark my imagination. Delvaux bags don't do that for me. This is another username I cannot pronounce, so I'll just ask the question. Why no New York with Meredith? You are so fun together. Well, I wasn't consulted on New York, the location, before it was chosen. That was Meredith's holiday, and for the same reason that I was on my holiday last year and just dropped through London and suggested a lunch catch up that turned into this big, amazing, wonderful thing that we're all so grateful for. Meredith put it out there that she was heading to New York and would anyone be interested in catching up. And of course, all of our European counterparts, it's a lot closer and easier for them to get to the USA, even though New York itself is very expensive. And it's still a fair trip. I think it's like 6 to 8 hours for most people, 10 hours perhaps. For me, it's 24 hours, and airfares, it will probably be about $12,000, and then accommodation, and then time. And as much as I want to see my beautiful YouTube tribe, that's the kind of money that I just cannot spend on a catch up for a weekend, and it doesn't fit into my broader holiday plans. So I will be like the rest of you, sitting here in absolute and complete FOMO while they all go and have the most wonderful time. Kristen asks, 2024 travel plans. Also, when you travel for work, how long are you gone for? So 2024 travel plans, I did say in my wish list I wanted to do more short domestic trips this year, and I have a few. I'm going to Sydney shortly. It is a work trip, but I am going to extend it into the weekend, just to have a little bit of a change of space. I am also going to Melbourne, again for a work trip, so I won't have a lot of personal time, but it's nice to get out and about. I'm going back home to Tasmania later in the year on some family business. So those are things that are definitely happening, you know, within my realm of planning, but I do and am still considering a trip at the back end of November. Coincides with my birthday, and to help cure some of my Grinch-dom by going and experiencing the beautiful Christmas decorations and lights in Paris. But we'll see if that happens. In terms of my current work trips, most of my work trips are to regional areas, and they're usually 2 nights maximum. 2437 asks, how are you doing? Typically that would be an easy question to answer, but yeah, I've felt a little bit lowish lately. I think I was sick for a bit, and it really knocked around my motivation, and I felt quite lethargic, and I started to question whether or not I was actually a bit depressed, because I was just so low all the time, and my weekends were just recovering from the weeks, and yeah, I wasn't used to feeling that low in terms of my energy. And I've lost a lot of momentum in my exercise, and then I was feeling a bit ordinary about myself, and yeah, I'm still kind of coming back from that. So thanks for asking a real question, and there's a real answer. Train girl Megan. Hey Megan, she's got a lovely YouTube channel and Instagram as well. I'll link below. I'm debating getting a Kelly bag. Do Hermes bags come with superpowers? Oh look, you would think so with all the hype that happens in these videos, but Megan, they don't. Get a Kelly because you love the shape of the Kelly. Get a Kelly because you love what having a Kelly means to you. Get a Kelly because it tickles your ends of your lips into a smile. But don't do it because you think it has superpowers. Bongo is one. why don't you have a Dior saddlebag? It's basically already monogrammed, and he's talking about the D on the Dior. I don't like how structured the saddlebag is, even though it's got a D on it. Delvaux also has a D on it, so it's basically monogrammed as well, but it doesn't speak to me. There was a pair of Dolce & Gabbana heels that I loved, and one of the heels was a D and one was a G, and I thought they would be cool as well. But sadly, none of the pieces that are monogrammed for me speak to me enough to buy them yet. So this video has been going for 40 odd minutes. By the time I edit it, I think it's long enough for a video in and of itself. So I'm going to come back with a part 2 because I've got a whole bunch of questions on my YouTube community page to answer as well. So if you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Remember that I will quite often ask for questions for a Q&A video, and I do that on my Instagram stories and here on my YouTube community page, which you can only see if you're subscribed, so please consider doing so. I put out videos a couple of times a week. Wednesdays and Sundays are the key days, but there could be some more from time to time. So I hope to see you back for the next one. Ciao!